commit to uprooting the legacy and perpetuation of structural violence deeply embedded within the healthcare system. We recognize inequities built by past and present traumas rooted in white supremacy, colonialism, the gender binary, ableism, and all forms of oppression.
Who knew the future of medicine would be nothing more than a cult? That right there is just a tidbit of the Hippocratic Oath being recited by the University of Minnesota School of Medicine class of 2026. I'm going to play the clip for you. I hope you listen closely, because the future of medicine is nothing more than part of this woke culture we live in. And quite frankly, I think it turned into a cult.
Gratitude. We, the students of the University of Minnesota Twin Cities Medical School class of 2026, stand here today among our friends, families, peers, mentors, and communities who have supported us in reaching this milestone. Our institution is located on Dakota land. Today, many Indigenous people throughout the state, including Dakota and Ojibwe, call the Twin Cities home. We also recognize this acknowledgement is not enough. We commit to uprooting the legacy and perpetuation of structural violence deeply embedded within the healthcare system. We recognize inequities built by past and present traumas rooted in white supremacy, colonialism, the gender binary, ableism, and all forms of oppression. As we enter this profession with opportunity for growth, we commit to promoting a culture of anti-racism, listening and amplifying voices for positive change.
And there you have it. This is where we are in 2022, and those young people are the future of medicine. Reciting that woke-ass Hippocratic Oath that I can't even believe that they were saying some of the things they had to say. I'm actually in a little bit of shock listening to that. But just to point out, they're going to commit to uprooting the legacy of structural violence embedded in the healthcare system. And they're going to focus on past and present traumas that are rooted in white supremacy, colonialism, the gender binary, and ableism, because they are all forms of oppression. They're going to be doctors. What are we doing and what are we teaching these kids today? You have to assume that they're all very smart individuals to get accepted to medical school. But to have to recite something is horrific, if you will, is that to talk about the legacy of violence embedded in the healthcare system, white supremacy, colonialism, and of course, they had to throw in the gender binary, because if you didn't, you probably wouldn't be able to get your medical license. Because I'm pretty sure that when all those people graduate and become doctors, they're going to have to participate in destroying young people's lives by telling them they can be a different gender and administering all the harmful drugs and hormones that they're giving to these kids today because they think they're another gender. This is what 2022 is all about. And it's only going to continue with the woke culture that we live in. If you don't just go along with everything, you're no good. You're the problem. And this all boils down to one thing. That's right, politicians. It always falls back on politicians because they are the ones who are in Washington, D.C. and in your local legislatures discussing legislation and passing legislation that approves of this nonsense. These kids are going to be doctors. It should have nothing to do with whatever happened in the past, hundreds of years ago. But no, they have to agree to be woke, to deal with every case at face, if you will. If a 14-year-old girl comes in and says, I'm a boy, this physician has to explain to them, okay, we're going to start giving you testosterone treatments, and then we'll schedule a surgery. If the child has any breast growth, we'll remove those, and then we'll talk about giving you a penis in the future. This is what they're talking about. They can't just practice medicine to take care of everybody and anybody the way they should be as doctors. Oh no, because if you don't do what this small group of mentally ill people, if you will, if you don't do what they say, then you're no good. Because, not for nothing, this transgender shit is a mental illness. Disagree with me if you want. That's how I see it. And all it does is harm people. It harms children. And any parent who's getting involved in letting their children under the age of 18 go through some form of hormone therapy or taking puberty blocking drugs, they need to be held accountable and criminally charged. That's why we need politicians in Washington with a backbone who don't cave to all this woke pressure. This is not how our country is supposed to be. It's equal across the board. And I get everybody has their right to do or say whatever they want. Well, you can't say what you want anymore, but you can certainly do what you want, because you can walk around as a grown man with a beard and wear heels and a dress and call yourself a woman, and everybody has to go along with that. So you have to do that. And if you disagree with it, you're the problem. You're the bad person. You don't belong in society. You're violent. This is such bullshit, but these are the future. These kids are the future of medicine. They're going to be doctors who are going to be in charge of the care of sick people, terminally sick people. It's just so mind-boggling that they even have to discuss white supremacy, colonialism, gender binary. But do you think 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when medical school students had to recite the Hippocratic Oath, do you think this language was included? And I certainly don't know for fact, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no, it wasn't about this. This is all the present. This is the future. This is what people want to be involved in because they want attention. Because, like I've said in the past, this is nothing more than an attention grab for people who have nothing else going for them. They got no social life. They have no skills. Or they could be a genius and make $500,000 a year, but they're bored with their life. The man who sits at the office all day and runs a big corporation, he's bored. So what's he going to do? Oh, shit, I know. I'm going to become a woman, and people are going to pay a lot of attention to me. That's all this is. This is all trash. It's all garbage. And this is what Washington, D.C. is all about, and it needs to stop. We cannot continue as a society going along with all this shit that makes no sense, because any normal thinking person knows that a man cannot be a woman and a woman cannot be a man. Men cannot have babies. Plain and simple, bottom line. Like Dr. Fauci always said, look to the science. Well, this is science. This is biology. And any physician who has any morals would not be forcing that bullshit down the throats of their students in a medical school. Unethical, I think. I think any physician who is a professor in medicine should be put aside and talked to and say, what are you doing? You know as well as I do that men can't have babies, and men can't be women, and women can't be men. This is such trash, and all this is a political push to keep these assholes in Congress, in local legislatures, who are going to keep approving and voting for this nonsense. So this group of people can run around like they won a battle. They're right. They're wrong. And I'll say this probably it's over 1 million times I've said it. No one gives a shit that you think you're a woman if you're a man, or you think you're a man if you're a woman. No one cares. Go about your business the way you do and stop shoving it down everybody's throat. Live your life and let the rest of us live our lives. Because you don't bother me, just don't stand in front of me with a sign and say men can have babies, because it's absolute trash. Wake up, America. That's our future. So in the future, if you're looking for a doctor, maybe you should look into what school they went to. Now, I don't know if every medical school in the country is reciting that trash, but if they went to the University of Minnesota Medical School, maybe you should look for somebody else. Just my opinion. And that's it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Please share my videos with someone. I'd appreciate that. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. And this is going to keep continuing, and I'm going to keep talking about it. Have a great night, and I'll see you real soon.